Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Oh, it's great to be here. You know, what's really great is, you know, when I started on the campaign, first of all, I'm Assembly Member Bill Dodd, and I'm Assembly District 4. Jim Frazier is probably most of your Assembly member. The part of the part of Solano County that I have is Dixon. And then I have the unincorporated area from outside the city limits in Fairfield and Vacaville over to Napa and up to Yolo County. So I have part of Solano, part of Sonoma, all of Napa, Lake, Yolo, and part of Colusa County. But it's something that I decided that I wanted to run for this, as she was announcing that she was, you know, obviously termed out. And I did it for a number of different reasons, but one of the reasons is 43% of this district is Solano County. And only 14 is Napa, and only 14 is Sonoma, and 14 is Yolo, and 10 is Contra Costa, and the balance is like Sacramento County. So the big deal in this district is Solano County. And I'm just really pleased as I look around the room, because I started coming around after I announced on July 21st. I'm getting to know more and more people. I've joined the chamber, and both chambers, Vacaville and Fairfield, and also Vallejo and Benicia, and the Black Chamber and the Philippine. I mean, you have so many chambers in this county. Let me tell you, that's a budget line item for this campaign. But as a former businessman, I really believe in in the power of business. Also, what I really admire so much about this group here is you're here to promote your business, but at the same time, you're here to promote nonprofits. And if sometime you can get online and look at my website, look at the type of things that I was involved in. I was a Culligan man. I owned 7 Culligan water franchises throughout Napa and Solano and Lake, and the same area of this District 3 that I hope to be able to represent in the state assembly. I was a business person in that, and so I've got great familiarity with this district and with the people in this district, and hope to be able to represent you. But I was involved in, I'm still involved in nonprofits for over 35 years. Most recently, I held a fundraiser specifically for Solano Napa Habitat for Humanity. And we raised, I'm just so proud of this, about $75,000 at a Christmas party that I threw over at Silverado Country Club in Napa, golf tournament and a Christmas dinner. Next year, we're going to do a different nonprofit. Every year, I've done it for 14 years, and we've raised over $1 million for different nonprofits throughout Napa. But I felt like, hey, you know what? Let's spread the wealth. We're going to go and we're going to do this for Solano Habitat for Humanity as well. And I think it's during that 25 years that I was involved in business, I ended up being the president of our state trade association, the Pacific Water Quality Association, was actually 7 western states, and the national and international water quality associations. So that really gave me great perspective on just what not my own business was all about, but a whole bunch of people that were competitors and that were fellow culling dealers, what have you, manufacturers, all throughout the industry. Many of you may belong to your trade of state or national trade associations. But it really gave me a perspective in the areas that I always wanted to serve in. I was president of both organizations, but I always got there through governmental affairs, because I really liked, can you imagine somebody that liked to go to Sacramento? And you know what? You're a great timekeeper. I wish you could be in the legislature. When somebody stands up and start talking, you hold your hand up and people be quiet. I think that's phenomenal. We need that in Sacramento. So we're going to be talking, okay? All right. So, it's something that was really, really fun for me to do that, both in Washington, D.C. and also Sacramento as well. But fast forward, I was just in a lucky place in time. We became one of the largest Culligan dealers in the United States. And about 2000, I ended up selling that business. It was called Diversified Water Systems, and we were the holding company for these Culligan dealerships, and we were in the 5-gallon bottle delivery and industrial systems, and we grew with the I-80 corridor. We grew when Anheuser-Busch came in. Guess who did their water treatment? We did. Continental Plastics and Clorox and all the wine industry in Napa County, all the wine industry in Sonoma County. So it was really, a phenomenal growth period in business, during those times that we were able to be part of. So I sold out in 2000, and I remember my parents talking to me. That was when I was in the trade association. My dad was in it before. He was actually president of both the state and national trade associations too. We belonged to all 7 chambers of commerce during our time period when we were active in this business, and we, giving back to the community was always part of our mission, and it just, makes me feel so comfortable to be amongst you, because that is your mission as well as succeeding in your own businesses. So fast forward, what am I going to do? I looked at Napa County and I thought, boy, we have some real issues. And at the time, the vineyard people and the wineries were at war with the environmentalists. And the winery and vineyard people had their candidate for supervisor, and the environmentalists had theirs. And I came in and said, hey, I was born and raised in this community. We don't have to shortchange the environment by having a strong, wonderful business, thriving business here in tourism and all that entails. And we can do both, and we can do both successfully. So I beat the incumbent and the other challenger in the primary in that race, and then I ran 3 times after that unopposed. And that hasn't happened in Napa County since the 1930s, where somebody had 3 unopposed tenures. So I think what it shows you is I was able to be a champion for the environment, be a champion for business. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I hope you don't either. I think I see the green business programs that go on in this community and throughout the county, and I think everybody's proving that that's actually the case. But so why would I leave probably one of the best political jobs, in the state of California, county supervisor? Because they are incredible. You're closer to the people. You get to do so many things. We've worked with our workforce investment, board in Napa County. It's a very, thank you for what you do, particularly throughout when the down economy was here, and afterwards getting people back on their feet. What a great opportunity to help so many people, because you're closest to the people. But I saw what was going on in the state of California. I said, wow, as a county supervisor, I'm seeing you're giving us all your prisoners, and you're giving us about a fraction of the money that's supposed to come with that. You're giving cities and counties, Curtis, you know this, they're giving us their services that they want us to provide. They don't want to do it anymore because they don't want to pay for it. And they're not paying us full freight. It's like, man, we need some leadership there. Then I keep seeing, at the worst, but believe me, I've kept my toe in the water on some business deals and investments and whatnot, but I think it's important to note, we're in the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. And yet in Sacramento, they continue to have more and more and more regulation. Yeah. And instead of providing incentives to businesses to want to create more jobs, to create a better tax base for our cities, our counties, and our entire state, that's how we make our money anyway, right? So why would you do that? And I felt really, really negative about that more regulation approach and making it tougher. And I'm not talking about Walmart, Target. There's always this big bias against big business. That's fine. What I'm talking about is Chamber of Commerce. I'm talking about downtown Fairfield, downtown Vacaville, Benicia, Vallejo, everywhere within my district and within the state of California. Those are the businesses, the local businesses that we need to protect. Those are the ones we ought to incent to create more jobs. And so I talked to my wife. She never did agree, but I'm running anyway. I'm just kidding. You may know how that rolls. But at any rate, no, she's been fantastic during my 16 years of public service since I got, sold the water company. But I did run. I ran in a heavily contested race there as well. Two guys from Davis, the former mayor, the existing mayor, and I was able to win in the primary, and then I won in the general election. And I tell you what, it is working. I'm part of a moderate, business-friendly Democratic caucus, and nobody's ever heard. Very few people have heard of this before, but we are being effective in Sacramento. And essentially, what we are, we're in the Democratic caucus too. We want to help people. We want to be a champion, for schools. We want to be a champion for foster kids, mental health. Aldea does such a great job. I've worked with Aldea in Napa County over the years. In fact, one of the nonprofits that I helped start was the Wolf Center, and All Day has taken that over. It's drug and alcohol rehabilitation for kids. So we're champions for all those things. But at the same time, what we need in the state of California is a more balanced approach, because without business, you don't have the tax base to be able to provide the wonderful services that we need to provide for our communities. And somebody brought up on the homeless thing today, we're working, who was that? Somebody brought up. Yeah, thank you. We're working on a $3 billion endeavor in Sacramento right now. That's a local, state, and federal, program. So I'm kind of excited as we see that move forward. But so I ran, and I did this. I won, but I did it not because it was cool. Let me tell you, running in these open primaries is a real challenge. You can stay in the comfort of your own county where you know everybody, for your entire life, where you can come out and say, okay, I'm going to get to know people in 6 different counties. But I think what it's worth it is we need to do what we're doing here, not only for our generation, and there's generations below me. Probably I'm the highest generation here. But let me tell you, I don't believe that we've done enough. My parents and grandparents gave us the state of California. It was incredible. The best schools, the best parks and open space, the best roads. So we need to pay it forward, I think, as a society, and make sure that our kids and our grandkids and their kids don't have to, number one, do all the things that we're supposed to be doing, but also have to pay for it too. And so while I'm there, that's my focus. I'm looking out for the people of the state of California as well, and making sure that we set up this state so that future generations, successive generations that we have, aren't ending up paying our bill. So I'm going to kind of go through. I've been so fortunate to have a good relationship. That's one of my keys, and I learned that from business. This idea that you get legislators that are over there that do everything, they're omnipotent. They don't get anything done without partnerships. You know that in business. You don't sell somebody something, Pat, where are you? You've got to be able to do that. And you've got to work together and create these partnerships, sometimes with people that don't believe in you or don't like what you're doing, but you have to show them that what you have is good for their constituents as well, and what can we do together to get these big things done.